Density can be described using this equation. D for density equals the mass, which is the substance, divided by the volume, which is the container. So you would know that the mass, the substance which is crammed inside that limited volume space, gives you the density. For something to be denser or less denser, you would first have to imagine the volume. You see this container holding substance inside it. Now you see another container also holding substance inside it. The denser one has just got more of that substance crammed inside of that space, where the less denser has less substance crammed inside that space. Yes, that is correct. Let's take two of the same balls. One is a tennis ball and one is a cue ball. Same size, denser one is a cue ball. There's more substance crammed into that space, so it's heavier, has more weight. Let's show a demonstration. Here we have two identical 5-liter containers. One is a clear coat and one is the thinners. Here we have a scale. We're going to test to see which one is denser and heavier. First we'll take the thinners, placing it on the scale, and you see it is 5-liter thinners. Yes, 5 liters, and it comes up to 4761.6 grams. Now let's go and place the clear coat on the scale to see the difference. Okay, this is the 5-liter clear coat. You can see it says the clear coat 5 liters. What does it weigh? 5411.3 grams. So clearly you can see the clear coat is more denser and thus it has more weight. Yes, the medium definitely has a huge role when it comes to the ratio of density in an object. Now let's take a ping pong ball and a rubber ball. Which one do you think is denser? Obviously the rubber ball. Now place them both in an atmospheric environment, air. They will both fall to the ground. Now place them both in another medium like water. They are both going to float. You see, the reason for this is because the ping pong ball and the rubber ball are both denser than the air around it. As soon as they are placed in water, the water is denser. Okay, now let's take that same rubber ball that we just took out of the water that was floating. What do you think would happen if we had to stick it inside a vacuum? Correct, it will fall. Why? Because the air around it is not able to support the density of the ball. Well, I've come across a great demonstration showing exactly how the medium affects the density of the weights. Take note that this is the measured density in air. And this is the measured density in liquid. Can you see the difference already? Now he's going to compare that to another weight that he had set by there. Can you remember what the previous one was in air? Okay, and now the new one also in the liquid. And yeah, it's just showing the density differences between those two weights. I will have the video up in the description box. Please be sure to go watch the full video. This is a question I get asked quite a lot. Why down? I think the question should more specifically be, why would you think it needs to go up? Let's take a look at everyday life. What do you observe? You observe everything is being built on foundations. Where are those foundations? Those foundations are at ground level. You do not start building a roof or a house or a building, whatever, in the sky. You build it with a foundation at ground level and build it up. I mean, why would you expect something to go up if it's denser anyway? It's got more substance, it's got more weight, so obviously it's going to go down. Let's look at it this way. If you weren't told that you needed something to hold you to the ground, would you still think that, based on everything with density, would you still expect it to be flung up towards the sky? Just a thought. I mean, what we observe is simply the fact that a denser object will go to the bottom because that is what's giving the structural support. This is the reason why when you look at a density tower, it aligns itself with the densities, the denser objects at the bottom and the less denser on the top, because everything follows that natural order. You won't expect a brick to be held up by a feather, but you would expect a feather to be held up by the brick, because the denser has more substance, so that denser substance can support something that has less substance.